everyone can take their seat, we can get started. A few things I just wanted to, for those who've never been here before, we just have a short set of rules. First of all, no profanity. You may be upset and things like that, but we don't need that part of it. Second of all, if you're talking about someone and you want to talk about a specific person or anything like that, no personalities, no words. Now, if it's an elected official, quite naturally, we're all free game. We were elected by you. So if it's something that you see that you're not happy with the elected officials, by all means, bring that up. But if you have a feud with your neighbor, this is not where it is. This is not the form. This is not that form. When you speak, we speak up here so you can talk to the residents, and I'll try to answer the questions. If not, there are people here that are taking notes, and by that I mean it's getting on. Someone will know what's going on. So those are the simple rules. There's nothing else. Okay. I just want to go over what happened at the last town hall meeting. First of all, before I get started, I'd like to say this. I'm glad that everyone comes out and takes out their time, because their time is valuable like everyone else here. You don't have to be here. You're here because you want to hear and you want to try to make a difference, and you want to be involved in trying to make a difference, and also asking questions that you may have on any topic dealing with the village. And this is what this is for. That's why we created a town hall meeting, so people could come and air out their differences. You may not get questions answered at this particular point, but believe me, I'm out there trying to make sure that your answers or your questions are answered. Again, I just want to tell everyone, I don't know what people have been saying, I really don't care if anyone knows anything about me. I'm a type of person, I do what I feel like I want to do, because if I try to do something that someone's telling me to do, it's not going to be what I want. So I'm for the residents, I'm for the village. Anything other than that, secondary. But I do want to say this. These meetings that we've had have been very constructive. People have came out, they expressed their opinions, and in no way, and I'll say it again, in no way was this a campaign, was this a trying to get someone to vote for me or anything like that. No, this is me doing what I'm supposed to do, what you elected me to do, and that's to listen to you and try to do something about things that you feel strongly about in the village. That's what these meetings are for. Campaigning and things like that, first of all, they're not done in a government building, number one. And number two, I look at it this way. If you're running for an office, the people will know if you're for real and if you're not for real. You don't have to sit up there and constantly keep throwing in their face what you're doing or what's going on. Okay, with that said, the last town hall meeting, there was some questions in regards to the lights being out in the village. Since that time, I talked to the Director of Public Works and asked him what it would take to get this started, because he's been pretty busy doing other things, and he is short-handed as far as personnel. So I asked him to come to let me know how much it would be, and at that time I sat down and talked to him, and at that time I called the mayor and told him what we were trying to do. And would he okay the overtime for that, to have this done? And he said yes. So your lights will be between last week and I think the third week of October, they'll be back on. They're working on that as we speak. So there was a major concern, which I can understand, because you don't want to be outside, because the days are getting shorter, and the kids are out there, you're out there. 8 o'clock, you can see right now, 7 o'clock, it's dark. So that's something that was a major concern. Someone asked about the air strippers. We do have permanent ones now, and they're in, right now, the air stripper the permanent one that's completed is in well 3, which is behind Wagner. And 1 and 2, which is right here on Sauk Trail, we get ready to start the work on that, so you'll be seeing a lot of construction there. Lake Michigan Water, someone asked about that. Right now, we have to take it in stride right now. The money is going for the air strippers and for the iron out removal system and to update the pumps and everything in each one of the pump houses. When that's completed, I'm sure the next phase will be securing Lake Michigan Water, which means we have to take care of the infrastructure first. You can't hook up to Lake Michigan Water until we take care of the infrastructure. Then we have to buy the land between where we have our hookup to where we have to hook up to. So we have to secure that land and parcel and run those pipes. So those things were voted on. They will happen. They have to. Before we get into the questions, I just want you guys to think about a couple of things. And you may want to ask about it while we're, during the course of the day, but I do have questions for you guys. And the first question I have is, how do you think, or how would you feel, or what is it that you would like to contribute as far as thoughts of how do we attract businesses? What is it that you feel we need to do as a village? I'm pretty sure everybody said, well, that's what you're supposed to do. But like I said before, I'm a type of person, I like to listen first and then talk. So I want to hear what you have to say about what would you do if you were in my position to try to attract businesses. And the number 2 thing, which every homeowner here should want to ask, how do we increase our home values? How do you do that? I have answers to that, but I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear from you guys what you think that we as a village can do, because we're all in this together. Our home is only worth what our neighbor's home is worth. So, so those are some of the things that we can talk about. Those are just some of the topics. I just want to make you aware, but I want to hear everything that you guys came out here to discuss and to go over. At this time, I'm going to ask Judy Cass. She's sitting here next to me. She's the president of the P.L.A.N. P.L.A.N. group. P.L.A.N. stands for People Looking for Answers Now. She started this a long, long time ago. I would think when Lewis Towers was mayor, and there was a bunch of residents that got together and they formed this organization. They're not political, they're just looking for answers. And I let her sit here because I know she can't stand a long time, so it's not that she's up here for any other reason than that, but she does have some things to say, and she said she wanted to be first on the list. So at this time, I'd like to introduce you guys to Judy Cass.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. First of all, I'm here as Judy Cass. I'm not here as president of anything. I did not speak with the P.L.A.N. members and get an approval to stand here and say anything. So this is me. And I'm here tonight because 2 weeks ago I was at a board meeting and I asked the mayor some questions. And unfortunately, you have a 3-minute time limit, and then once you're done asking your questions, if it's not the way you're thinking it, you cannot speak again. You're done. There is no debate. And I have a problem with that because in the process of the mayor trying to explain how we were misinterpreting things, other thoughts came to my mind, but I was unable to say anything. And the question that I threw out there was, I was gone out of state for a few weeks, and as I returned, I went to the plaza where the new auto place is going to be, and I didn't see any improvements in that area. And I remember when they were asking for the tax break, what is this landlord going to do? He's getting a tax break, he's getting help from the village. So what is he gonna do with that area to earn that? And Mr. Burgess had asked numerous times, and I did ask at a couple meetings, when is he going to come and talk to the people? Or at least talk to the trustees and see, you know, if you want this 11-year, 10-year, however many years it is, of a tax break, then you need to talk to us. What are you going to do? Are you going to fix that parking lot? Are you going to fix the lighting? What are you going to do with the other stores around there? I mentioned that, you know, they're doing a great thing in the area where this auto store is going to be, but when they look out the front window, they're going to see the ghetto. It looks trashy. So what are you going to do for this tax break? Well, I wasn't satisfied with the answer that we are misinformed, that Mr. Duckett is not getting the tax break. The auto store is. I went to the assessor's office. I went all over the place. Mr. Duckett is getting a tax break. According to the assessor's office, the property owner gets a PIN number. That PIN number, when you get a tax bill, it's for that PIN number. So you just can't keep changing the names on it. It stays to the property owner. The assessors, the person that I talked to, said the owner of the property and the renter or the leasing, what arrangements they come up with is usually in a contract between the two of them. But the tax bill, we're going after the owner. Therefore, I was not misinformed on that one. And I still feel, even though there is some work being done, they put some coal patch in the holes and they put some oil on top of the rest of the parking lot. It was not a sealant like you put on your driveway. Therefore, it looks like a short-term thing for me. My point is this. I feel that our trustees and the mayor jumped the gun before they found out, okay, you want us to do this for you, but what are you going to do? You haven't done anything in that area for how many years? What are you going to do for us? You're going to fix that place up. What are you going to do? Make some suggestions here. We have 2 businesses in our town right now that are possibly leaving. I know one that may be leaving within the month. This is sad. You bring one in and you lose 2. They're not getting tax breaks. They're not getting anything. And I know the one that is leaving sooner than the other. It all has to do with the fact that the contract with the owner of the property and the high taxes that they have to pay, they can't keep it up. They can't do it. So they're talking about leaving Sauk Village. Well, now we took a step forward with the auto area, but now we're taking 2 steps back. If we can do this for Mr. Duckett, why can't we talk to other landlords who are having problems filling their stores and seeing what we can do to help them, to give them an incentive to bring more people in? I know that there have been people that wanted to open things and didn't because of the taxes. I know that some of them wanted to open things and yet they weren't zoned correctly for that, and I understand that, and the board was right for that. But I think that before we decide to give Mr. Duckett or any landlord anything, we need to know, what are they going to do for us? Because if the auto area leaves that area anytime, they want to break their contract, and they are all over. They got big lawyers, so if they want to get out of Sauk Village as it ain't working, they'll leave. When they do, that tax break still goes to Mr. Duckett. And there's my problem. He's going to continue to gain off of us, but he's really not doing a good job on what he's doing over there. Now, I don't do this kind of work. I'm just saying what I see. I was there and saw how they were spraying the oil on the parking lot. It wasn't a sealant like you would put on your driveway. I was there in the evening and the lighting is still poor. I would never go to Sharps or go to Fairway at this time because of the darkness. And I don't think it's right. And I think that what can be done to give businesses, we need to think about some of the things that a business has to go through in order to open here. The amount of money that is being spent to improve the property where the auto place is going in is astronomical. And I think that with that kind of money going in and making it, they're going to have a ribbon cutting, it's going to be a big to-do, and it still looks like a ghetto. And I wouldn't want to open a business there or anywhere. I mean, we are moving forward, and I'm not putting down anybody in particular. The village looks better now than it has in a long time. But it's still, when you're talking about businesses, when you talk about where the post office is, that area doesn't look so good. The area over here where the auto one, that doesn't look so good. I talked to the lady that, Debbie, that had the currency exchange. Her problem had a lot to do with the landlord also. Issues that she had that he didn't want to hear about. It's your problem. But he sure took her monthly rent. And a lot of it. And now he's getting tax breaks. And so, to me, he's loading up his pocket, but he's not putting anything in to make things look better. And we should have checked that out first. If you want to receive, you've got to be willing to give. And I think that's about it on that topic. With that one, you want me to go on to the next one? Okay, I'll do that.
What do you say?
While I'm standing, I might as well do that too. I'm going right back to some of the things that could help. With the new administration, the amount of people at the village board meetings has decreased to practically nothing. You can almost name everybody that's there. And I don't care who's in there, I'm there. I write things down. The P.L.A.N group videotapes every single board meeting, and it's put on the internet for everybody. If you can't make a board meeting, you can look on the P.L.A.N page and see the entire video. And I think if we're going to get more people in there, and people, and I don't go to a board meeting and say, you know, I'm voting for Derek, and I'm not voting for this one, and I don't like you. I go there to hear what they have to say, what they're going to do for me as a resident, and what can I do? How can I fit in this and help out? I have a problem with some of the members. It's not just the board members. Well, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's all board. Okay. I asked a question, eyeballs are rolling, and all this kind of stuff. I'm not asking a question to get up there and hear my own voice. I never, ever, and anybody that was there when Towers was there, I never get up and talk unless I got proof in my hand of what I'm saying. What I said about Mr. Duckett and all that. I've got the resolution right here. The auto place is not on any of it. Only Mr. Duckett's name. trustee get upset with me and tell me that I need to do my homework. And my question was, consensus voting and other things, and the water was the topic, and the water funds. And I wanted to know how things were being done. And one of the trustees said, well, if you did your homework, you would know all municipalities do this. Well, if she did her homework, she knows that was a challenge to me. And so I went around and I spoke to multiple mayors. I talked to Jean in Linwood, I talked to South Heights, I talked to a whole group of them, one by one. And they were terrific, they were nice. And yes, as municipalities, they also move money from the water fund into the general fund, for whatever reason it might be. Okay, I can accept that. I understand that. My problem was, how can you move money from the water fund into the general fund, start using it, and then at the next board meeting, if it's a regular board meeting, ask the trustees for a motion and to pass it, that we can transfer this money out? It's already being used. Not one of the mayors said that that is done that way in their town. They said that cannot be done. It has to be voted on before transfers are made. And it, to me, in very, not just that night, but other things, money was transferred and it hadn't been to the board for that to be transferred. And I think that when we talk about transparency and knowing what's going on within the village, we're all hit with these high taxes and everything. And when we're hit with that and we take a chance on losing our homes or whatever if we don't pay it, then I think we have the right to know where our money's going and how it's going there. And what if all the trustees didn't sit there and nod their heads? What if they all said no? But the money's already been used. I have a problem with that. So that trustee that rolled their eyes and told me I didn't do my homework is not here tonight, but I'm sure the message will get back. But anyway, I thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judy. I appreciate your questions. A couple of them, I think you did hit on the tax break, tax incentive section 84. I'm sorry. Yeah, it is section 8 for the business for advance auto. That is true what you said, so I just wanted to make that distinction. And I appreciate some of the things that you said about some of the businesses. You obviously did your homework because there are a couple of businesses in the village right now talking about leaving. So obviously you must have talked to someone. And after the meeting's over with, I want to find out who they are so I can go and talk to them. But is anyone, okay, now things are open. And you want, I can bring the mic out to you since that's why I brought this. A lot of people may not want to stand right there, but you can stand up at your chair and ask.
Thank you. Thank you very much. My name is Gail Fleming, and I'm a resident of Sauk, and I'm responding to what Julie had said about the tax incentive. Since we know what can happen, and if we look at the glass half full instead of half empty, we could believe that we're going to be getting new business here. And having that experience before us now, is it possible to relook at the process of making incentives, tax incentives available, and it does not seem unreasonable that if a person has a 10 to 11 year tax incentive, that they do significant upgrades that last like 50%, 75%, or 100% of that time for which they have an incentive. That would be my suggestion.
And that makes sense. I mean, I'm for that too. If I'm going to give you an incentive, or I'm going to give you a tax break, which is going to help you out, then what are you going to do for the village, for the one that's doing it for the people, period? Because basically that's money that we're losing. You know, but I will piggyback and say this. A lot of your big businesses ask for a lot of things because they're bringing jobs in, they're bringing revenue in, they're bringing sales tax. So it's not uncommon for a large business, especially a chain, to ask you for something because they know their name you can piggyback off of. But that's not who I look at. I'm not looking at the business. I have no problem with the business asking for things because, as I say, they're going to bring jobs in. I have a problem with the people that own the facades that the businesses are there. I want them to do something. I want them to step it up so they can make it, presentable, because ultimately, yes, they pass it down to the business. But when that business leaves, they still have that tax break. So, yes, Mark.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Margaret Campbell Prude, and I live in Sauk Village as well. I just want to ask a question regarding the tax incentive that we provided to that area, simply because it's my understanding last year this time they were TIF property, which was a tax incentive as well, and that same person was negligent in completing the necessary paperwork in order for them to continue on as a TIF and for us to reap the benefits as well. So if that being the case, if just last year they were negligent, why would we then turn around this year and give them another tax incentive in a different format? I'm not understanding that.
Okay, let me try to explain this to you as far as the TIF. They were part of a TIF, which that TIF dissolved. It's no longer a TIF anymore. But what the TIF does is keep the money within the TIF, and a lot of your taxing bodies like your schools, libraries, mosquito abatements, they get none of that. That goes into that area and is used for that particular TIF district. So if they wanted to, say, fix up their facades and they didn't have the money, they would petition the TIF trustees, which happens to be the village, and tell them this is what they want to do. They would have to pay for it, and then the money would come out after they pay for it. A lot of them claim I don't have the money to pay for it up front. Can you pay for it up front? That used to happen years and years ago, but guess what? When we paid for it up front, they didn't do anything. So this way, in other words, they spending only what they can afford to spend right then and there. Then that's where they come in and they apply for that incentive. Now that there's not any incentive, because there wasn't a tax break, the village didn't get anything for that. Now the village gets taxes from that property. But now it's abbreviated because it is a Section 8, so therefore it's abbreviated, so we don't get full taxes. That was one of the things that I asked. Why would I give somebody something that I had personal knowledge and I had personal experience with this person, and they didn't do anything at the time? I even told them all the things that were available, that they could get their lawyers with our lawyers and talk about them and at least update the facades. Somewhere along the line, they thought that the TIF was dissolved, they were going to get some money back. They didn't get a dime. Went back all to the taxing bodies like it should. That's who took the hit. So now they came back and said, okay, well, the only way I can bring this business in is I need help from the village. Okay, fine, we're willing to help. I have no problem with it. What you gonna do? And that was the whole thing, but as everyone knows in government, this is a democratic society, so one person doesn't stop a show. And I'll leave it that way. Does anybody else have a Do you want to come up when we bring it to you? Or? Okay.
I'm Sharon Archie Davenport. This is a subject, I came in on the subject when Judy Cass was speaking, so this is really enlightening to me because me being school board, we take pride in our community, in our town, and we want people to come to our school district and move in this town, just come to our school district. So we're working hard, we're investing money, we're doing to keep all of our buildings up, to keep our property up. So when you come in this town, in a matter of seconds, you're looking at beauty and ghetto, beauty and ghetto, beauty and ghetto like right away. So my thing is, you just made the statement about they're asking for our town, us taxpayers, to help them so that they can get businesses in. Are you all coming back at them at some point? First of all, part of my issue, I'll get to that issue, I'll get to that part. I need to know, where is it will help you if you take care of this? Where do you all put your foot down when they're coming to you and asking you for help, when they're asking for tax breaks? Because if we're constantly letting these properties, I live over on P.L.A.N side, but even coming past over by the post office, coming over here to Fairway, those are like our main areas. And it's a hot mess, and it's like the ghetto, it's embarrassing. And being right off the expressway. What are we doing to these owners to let them know that we mean business? We're not going to keep giving you tax breaks. I know we need businesses in our town, but then a quality business is not going to really want to come in the ghetto. And that's what we're looking at. But on the flip side, I have a person, it happens on all towns and everywhere. My board is not perfect. I know it's not perfect. I'm not standing to claim that my school board is perfect, but we're working towards it. But the division is causing a major problem, and I know that that's one of the issues, and I have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with you all using our building to even do this town hall meeting, but it should have been able to be used at the village hall. When people want to feel comfortable and say, I don't want to be video, I'll come if I don't have the videotape, then people should be able to feel comfortable enough, but we should respect them enough, because if we say we're about the citizens and the stakeholders, we should respect what they say. We should be willing to want to hear them, and I don't see that fully happening. I don't see the leadership, and I'm a part of the leadership in this town, so when I'm speaking, believe me, I'm glass house. And I'm actually school board president, so I'm really a glass house at this point. I'm having a problem with leadership not coming together. It is not about whether I like you or not, or our personal issues. This is business. These are people's real lives. These are people's real money who are working hard. And I don't see where the coming together is. I see such division. And what starts at the head and it trickles down, we want to know, why is our town divided? Why when you come through, there's beauty and there's ghetto, there's more division. Everywhere we go in this town, there is a level of division on every area. And it's time out for it. Enough is enough. It's not about us. It's about the community, and we want to know about all the shootings. As school board, I've had to make so many showings of all these services to show face, and out of respect for District 168. It's unbelievable. But we can't even come together. We tell them to put the guns down, and then what do? We didn't tell them what to pick up. We didn't teach them conflict resolution, and they can't even look at us as leaders to see how we do conflict resolution so that they can better do it. And I think that this is totally ridiculous now. So I need to get that out. I really need to get that out. Enough is enough. It's time to put it down and come together, period.
I just want to respond, because I like to respond while it's still fresh. It's not that I was slighting you, Mr. Schenkel, it's just that I want to respond to what you were saying, because it is kind of important. First of all, you're absolutely right. We teach our kids exactly what you just got through saying. Lead by example. If we can't come together, how can we expect somebody else to? And you're 100% right. Why? If I knew that answer, believe me, I would be rich. But I do know this. A lot of people out here that are your trustees, mayors, things like that, they care. They care, they wouldn't be here. But a lot of times, You have people that are in the background that push other things, start other stuff. And then we as elected officials go along with that because, well, if I don't do that, I'm not going to get that vote. I'm telling you right here, right now, today, I've been in every election for the last 5 elections. I care what happens here, not about a certain individual because they feel this way. I care what's the betterment for this village. I have vested interest in this village. I've been here 32 years. I'm like everyone else, my home value is gone half, it's plummeted to half. So therefore, you know, I'm going to try to make sure that we can find a way to bring that out. But to sit here and try to please everybody, it's not going to happen because people can see that. What you have to do is look at what's best for the majority of the people that you serve and go from there. And that's why I have these town hall meetings so I can find out what's best for the people and what they want. I may want something, I may feel just like you said that we should do this and this, but if the people feel another way, then that's where you go. And that's what you do. And you're 100% right as far as why are we having meetings? The reason why I took the meetings out of the village hall because I got tired. And I shouldn't have, but I got tired of people saying, well, you're having it in the village hall, you're politicking, or you're doing this, or you're doing that. Or they were being cameras that would be in video. People may want to ask certain questions, don't want to be on camera. That's why they call it anonymous. When you call in certain things, or you call the police, you can call it anonymous. You don't have to give your name. It's good to give your name because you sign out a report, and guess what? It'll get done quicker if you're willing to sign a report. That much I can tell you. But this, and I'm glad and I'm grateful to you as the school board president in the school district to allow me and you guys to come out here to do that. You know, I tried to move it into an arena where we didn't have any home court advantage, as I call it. And that's what I tried to do. I tried to come out here because I don't want to waste anybody's time. When you come out here, I want it to be strictly business. Tell us what's wrong, let us know what it is, and we will try to do the best we can to make it happen. That's what this is for. But you're 100% right. We have to start somewhere. Because if you come to the board meeting, you're arguing, fussing, you come to the gathering or whatever, everybody's whispering and they're talking about one another. That's the community, but that's not what it should be. Sauk Village is not that big. One day, we're going to wake up and find out we're all in this together. I don't care what race, religion, or creed you are, you will bleed red. So therefore, we're all in this together. No one is better than anyone else. And together, we have to move this village up.
I just got a few questions right off the bat, though. All this idea about the shopping centers and things, can I see a show of hands of how many people have shopped in town since Monday? Not even half of this. It's pretty sad. We need more people to go to our businesses. That's why they're leaving. Nobody's going to them. You're going somewhere else to buy things. By the idea of having Advance Auto come to town and giving them a tax break, we were getting nothing before out of that building. Now we're getting a cut price. Yes, we are. But we're having people come from all over to come to our Advance Auto to buy auto parts. While they're there, they're going to have a hot dog. They might grab a 6-pack there. They might buy some gas. They might go to the grocery store. We're going to make more money. With less, we're going to make more money. For an idea of that, for giving them tax incentive to get them there. The idea of the P.L.A.N group, that should not be brought up here. I'm an original member of the P.L.A.N. The P.L.A.N group has nothing to do with this whatsoever. Some of the P.L.A.N members are here. Some of them seem to think that they should mention that. Some people shouldn't mention it. We're not involved in this. We're not involved in political things. It's P.L.A.N.
Mr. Shanker, I was merely, I know the plan. This, if you read the flyers that Derek Burgess presents, I just merely, like I did, Ms. Davenport, just gave out a title, who they were, and what they do in the community. The P.L.A.N has a role in the community. She's not part of this. Sharon Davenport has a role in the community. she's not part of this. That's all that was. It was not trying to say the plan is involved. No, the plan is not.
You brought the plan up, Mr. President.
I brought the plan, I introduced her of who she was, that's all.
We should not be even advertising on our website.
I'm not, this is not the website, sir. This is not the website. Okay, who's next? Oh, okay.
I want to point out something. The decency of a store. See, I don't go to Sturks to buy what I go to because Sturks, sometimes the food smells bad. I mean, fair way. If they have bad smelling food, why bother? You can't go in there and expect to get something. Then sometimes the people that work there don't know how to treat people. So I think the main thing is for us to have a way of treating people. And we hear so many people getting killed in Sauk Village. So many kids getting killed. And so many boys wearing their pants way down below. So many girls and boys meeting at somebody's house, some house that's been foreclosed on to have sexual intercourse and all that stuff. So I think the main thing is to get the village focused on being a decent village, a decent people. And then that's the best way to bring businesses in. You don't want to, great big business is not going to come to a place that don't have decent reputation of decent water. Whether the water is good or not, you got to make the people feel like it's good. And the people that run the water and it's brown, whether the water is safe or not, they don't believe it's safe. So different things that can happen to make businesses come. So business needs to be about making the water look safe to where people believe that it's safe. It's about getting all that crud stuff out of the water. So that's the main way to get big businesses to having good water.
Thank you, Mr. Harvey. And that was the answer to one of the questions that I said that doesn't make sense to make, and that's something I've always said. When you get ready to sell your house, before you put it on the market, you stage it, which means you go in there and you clean it up, make it look like nobody lives there. I mean, that's what you're going to do to attract somebody to buy it. Same thing with your village. We have to get the negativity. As you stated in this Davenport, we have to present a positive persona out there. Facebook, Southtown, whatever, paper sometimes. I'm tired of Sauk Village that then the wind goes out because they say, oh, we're out here in Sauk Village, another person got shot. We're out here in Sauk Village, the water went bad. You're right, businesses see that. And they won't invest because they know if they invest, they're going to come into a problem too. So that's how I appreciate this, Mr. Harvey. That was one of the questions. Okay, who?
My name is Bernice Brewer. I'm from the Sauk Village Citizen Public Awareness. And yes, we have a couple of different groups out here in the village that are working in the best interest of people. But I have a couple of questions for you that I had last time. And they have absolutely nothing to do with the committee itself, but what happened to the money. Now, back in October, you borrowed money was borrowed from the water fund in order to pay, from CNN fund to pay, go into the water fund. Okay, some of that money, I was told that when the property taxes come back in, that the money would be put back into the CNN fund. I want to know if that has been done and why not. And also have residents know that they had funds there where they were supposed to put toward their homes, and what happened to the money. And secondly, I've also told that we have $25,000 for fire hydrants. We have 10 new ones in the fire hydrant, in the fire station that have been used. I was told by Public Works that they'll get around to it. Now, also, since Sharon was here, want to know why they haven't been put in, because as I understand, a couple months ago, Rick over school, the kids were let out early because the fire hydrants did work. We talk about the best interests of our children, yet and still, we have this instruments here, we got public works, and they tell when they get around to it. And then the last thing I want to find out about is that in July's Sauk talk, it was mentioned that $135,000 was given to us a grant. Now, this $135,000 was the same money that Hutchison sent us last year, and we never got it, but it was in the Sauk talk when we got the money, the $135,000 grant, and it was specifically for Arrowhead and Carroll Park. We never got that money. And if we got it, I want to know when we got it. And since the summer's up, how come it hasn't been used for Carroll and Arrowhead Park? And I want to go back to the fire hydrants again. I specifically want to know, are these fire hydrants around those schools working? Why would you send your kids to school? You know they might not come home safe. They say that we have a mutual agreement with Crete and State and all that. By the time they get here, the kids gone. The house is gone. So I want to know what provisions has the school board and also the village hall has made for those kids and our safety and their safety. We have the material, public works to do it. We pay taxes. I want to know why we're not getting it done. Thank you.
Okay, as far as the CN, that was the noise mitigation fund that has been replenished. The money's been put back.
Okay.
I personally saw that happen.
How much?
The amount that they took out.
How much?
Everything that they took out, I think they took most of it out and they put it back. So the money, it's back to where it was, it's $272,000 and some change that we have in for the noise mitigation from CN.
So now the residents you're going to start working with the residents about getting that money to them.
That's a noise, well, it's noise mitigation, you have to qualify. It's like at the airport. You have to have a circumstance where the noise from the train is impeding your living, and you have to live within a certain area. There's a criteria to apply for that money, but that money is still there because no one has applied for it yet.
Do they know?
Yes, they do, but I mean, I can tell you right now, that's when you come up and you can fill out the forms at Village Hall, and you have to qualify. Basically, it would be people that are in Carlisle, I think, and I think that would be at Carlisle, because everyone else lives a little far away from it. And they would have to show, and then they would go out and get quotes. There's certain aspects to that, yes.
What was notice sent out to those residents over there that they could come and apply?
It was brought up at the board meeting.
So when was the notice?
No, I mean, you mean when was it actually sent out there? I don't think, to my knowledge, that they actually sent anything to each resident. To my knowledge, I don't know, but I know it was mentioned at the board meeting about that. Because I won't let that money go anywhere unless it is done the right way. And that's why I was adamant about making sure that money got back in there.
So how many residents were at the board meeting during that time? Know that?
I don't know. And I'm not trying to sidestep, but you asked me, I'm just telling you that's what happened.
Okay.
The fire hydrants are being replaced. The fire hydrants are being replaced as we speak. There's a crew out there doing that. However, there's a grant, and you're right about that. There's a grant coming to purchase more fire hydrants. I'm not saying that the money is there. It hasn't got here. I haven't seen it yet, but I do know that there's a grant out there that's coming from the state for us to purchase and fix the fire hydrants and the B-boxes. That is coming. The $135,000 for the parks. I hate to sound redundant, but that's coming too. But I mean, it's the state. We can only, we applied for them, we got them. When they're going to release the check, we're hoping. But we got things right now that we're trying to get checks released for.
But see, my point I'm trying to make is that there's a lot of misinformation that's given out by the village saying that we got this money. If you read July's Sauk talk, they said we got this money. If we got this money, I want to know what you're doing with it. You know, if you read this July Sauk, they said we got this money.
We don't have the money for the fire hydrants yet. No. I don't alter the salt talk, but I'm just telling you what I know. Now, if it's different, then maybe I've been misinformed, but I try to find out what's going on.
And you got the 10 over in the firehouse, they've been over there since, I think, last winter.
Now, I think they put out some of those. Have you been there lately?
It was about a month ago, they were still there.
Check them out.
Oh, they.
Check them out. Who was next? Oh. No, these ladies here next. Okay, go ahead. You need this?
I got a big mouth, but.
Okay, go ahead.
Just so you guys know, we let school out early a couple of months ago, not because it was our fire hydrants, it's not our fire hydrants. One thing about us, like I said earlier, we have money, we're on point, we have Amber Mechanical out on a regular basis, we have a maintenance agreement with them, it's their responsibility to come and make sure everything is on point. And actually, I am on the Buildings and Ground Committee for the school district also on a regular basis. We go through, we look at every crevice, every corner, any drop, and I'm very detailed. So when I see something, I'm like, okay, why is that water spot right there? And then we're on top of it. So I don't know where that information came out at. The reason why we were let out of school was the day of the storm. It was a really bad storm out here in Sauk Village, and the power went out. Our generators are only allotted so much time, so we had to hurry up and get the children out because the building gets really, really dark, and they wanted to make sure all the children were safe. So that is what happened when the school was out. As far as our fundings and our money, if you ever want to follow us on our budget, I just had a public hearing, and absolutely, we have almost, what do we have, Mr. Mayor, over 11,000 residents in the town? And we just had a public hearing this past Monday, and absolutely no one showed up. And the public hearing was regarding our budget and what we're doing with our budget, showing every line item that's been open for 30 days to see where we do our money, because we do want to be transparent. So you can actually look at our budget. It's still available if anyone would like a copy, and you can see line by line exactly where all our monies go, what's in our fund balance. I'll tell you, we have $18 million in the fund balance. So we have a savings account. We are not in debt. We do not have any bonds out. There are no bonds out, and we are upgrading. We have just did a full upgrade of technology in all 3 of our schools. We are now officially, we've been checked by the state. We are parts assessment ready for the new parts testing that's going across the United States. We have a pilot program going on right now with iPads in the classes, because we've given all the teachers laptops, and we've done the computers. We just added some more computers, and now we're doing a pilot program for the iPads, and then planning to get every student one. But as far as the buildings, I'm a stickler about that. So yes, we are on point. We are on point with that. So I'm sorry if somebody gave out misinformation, but that is not something that happened with us. I would be the first one on it and would know.
We want to know what's going on.
Yeah.
We just want to know what's going on and what do you guys do with the safeguard?
Yeah, to safeguard Amber Mechanical, and you know, it's funny that you say that. I'm having a meeting in the morning with the superintendent, but I just spoke with her Monday. Amber Mechanical is our maintenance company that's out, and during that time, they were out here going through all our buildings for 3 days. But what we're doing now, even behind them, we've hired a company called Seaman, and we are actually doing a double check behind them. And Seaman is going to audit and go and check everything to make sure not only is Amber Mechanical doing everything and have everything on point like they agree with us, but also that the pricing is right, and that they're doing, and that we're getting the best bang for our buck. So we actually have that going right now too. But yeah, so I just wanted to make sure I shared that.
You can have, when you have people, they can answer some of the questions. I appreciate that. Over here, who didn't get a check?
Yeah, it's like other people, but yes, I'm Larry Stewart. I'm a former housing commissioner. I served on Parks and Recs. I had the honor of serving on the P.L.A.N organization with Judy Cass. Things are very divided in this village. I love that $18 million I just heard. You know, they've really been on point for the last 3 years. Judy Cass, but first I want to thank you for this meeting, Mr. Burgess. I want to thank Judy Cass for speaking. I'm going to talk about that money moved from water company, to the general fund, to where it went into housing committee payment. I'm a former housing committee member. I've only been removed in the last month and a half. I'm very disappointed. My family is long-standing villagers. I love this community. The people in it, they get in position and they lose their mind sometimes. I see this regularly. I'm proud of the people that I know that served in this government. Some of them that did real well. But the thing is, with our divisions, and I think we ought to study the history of Sauk Village. What trustees did with this, what mayors did that, why some administrations failed, and why we're not moving forward, because we're looking for that. Now I talk about that money movement. I was a housing commissioner to where my purpose was not a money-making entity, but we were paying people to cut grass. First, we have to get the money. That was the purpose. Now, I've been accused in the last 2 weeks, guy said smart aleckly, you stole that money. I didn't like that. And yet, I've been removed. The thing I'm upset about is, how could you move the money from one entity to another? I understood how it was addressed to me. It was wrong, how it was done. And then look at it to where you pass it in front of the board, that all of them go, we didn't know that had happened. But do you approve it? Yeah, we approve it now. That's like somebody taking money out of your pocket and in 2 weeks asking you, can they have it? That's exactly what happened. You know, and I feel very bad. There's no transparency, as Judy Cassidy spoke. You know, it's very slim in 3 minutes. Ain't even worth you asking a question to look for an answer. I go over, I ask a question I don't even want to answer. I just want the question on record. But see, we need to get more involved. An issue came up at a little town in Missouri called Ferguson. I watch it very intensely. They have a system similar to our little town, to where they're not voting. We've got 10,500 people, Mr. Burgess. Do you know we get less than 1,000 people voting? In this next election, there'll be maybe 500-600 tops. You know, we have to get the people to vote. You know, their people, our board is divided along a lot of lines. You know, we get things in the village we don't want, and yet we get some things that we do. This new thing that we got here, that's a plus for the village, I agree. Yeah, anybody take their kind of title next year? But the thing I don't like that. See, we have to come together, you know, and stand for each other, because the village isn't really together at all. You know, I mean, like I got in these organizations looking at where we're going to make a difference. But when one organization has a vote, it ain't going to work. 2 years ago, before I was with P.L.A.N and People for Public Awareness, I tried to get the two organizations to come together and meet and talk things out. Maybe we can make it to where they can come together. Boy, was that a mistake. I felt like, what did I say? What did I do? To get the people to come together. City Hall, go. Look at everything in detail. What's the ratio here in this village again, Mr. Burgess? You don't want to say?
No, 67-32.
Understand this. Take a look at Sauk Village City Hall. Then look at your elected officials. Look at the one, I didn't get paid as a commissioner. I was there almost 4 years. I served honorably. I went to committee meetings all over the county because it was the right thing to do. And yet, when I hear that we're going to lose money. I didn't agree with that. Some of my friends were going to be on that payroll, but they were told with a contract when they would be getting paid. I was going to abide by the contract. The thing is, they got paid early. I didn't agree with that. Somehow I'm not a commissioner no more. You know, people are looking at, I'm upset about not being a commissioner. I'm glad I'm not. Because there'll be a time in the future where I'll be glad I can get back to the commission. That's what I'm looking for. Because I'm looking at getting back to an organization called P.L.A.N, helping people for public awareness, to make a difference in the town. I'm so proud of my school board, you all just don't know. $18 million, how much we got in our budget in the city government? Is that, now tell me what red means first. But, you know, this is what we have to come together with. This is terrible, this small group. I'm a bell ringer. Come on out, come on out. You know, I'm sorry I didn't get the word out on this. On your next one, Mr. Burgess, this place will be packed. I promise you that. But I need help. I can't do it alone. Come on, let's get each other. Tell people to come. It's that important. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Larry. I appreciate your comments. As always, ladies, you didn't have any questions? Okay. As always, you do bring up a lot of different ideas and a lot of different topics that need to be brought up that probably haven't been brought up, but I'm sure the people here appreciate it. That's what they clap for. And all I can say is we're still striving. We're striving to bring this community together. That's why everyone moved out here, because they thought that it was a fair, open, and honest community, that they could raise their children, invest in their homes, and you know, it's not a utopia, but you saw something here, and that's what made you invest. Yes, ma'am.
I have another answer, Trustee Burgess. I'm so sorry. I won't interrupt y'all anymore. I promise I'll be quiet. One thing about me, even if I know the answer, when I hear stuff that's going on, especially if it's negative, I always go back to my superintendent and I always get clarity, because something, did she not tell me something? So she has a message. It's from Dr. Donna Lee. She said she's not sure where they came from. That we met with the fire chief last month to review our safety plans for all buildings. They do a routine inspections and have not indicated that there are any issues at any of our schools at this time. And that she will have the fire chief come back out and double check again.
Right. Now, everything you said has been well worth it. I wanted to just commend the staff report on our efforts and professional efforts and the report that you gave. It's just good for somebody to hit a bottom line. 18 million sounds good no matter whose budget it is. So that was very constructive. I was going back to some of the opening points about suggestions for businesses, and I was sitting here and we're talking about things going down and things not being kept up and who would want to be here, what business. And when I put it together, it seems like sometimes you have to go grassroots and build a labor force. And it seems to me that we have a substantial youthful base that would be prime candidates for vocational training. And so it occurred to me that I don't know anything about how you go about getting a business, or how do you prioritize what types of businesses generally, if you layered it in, what types of businesses make a substantial difference in the community, and we could see what that category is and maybe go for one of those. But I was thinking about something like maybe a beauty culture school or training center, or a barber school. I know they give a lot of incentives to the students. They probably give a lot of incentives to the owners of them. I think we have enough people that could possibly be interested, who could get there whether or not there's transportation. There might be some type of
IT training, vocational training, because now you're going like along the continuum of what people's interests might be. Because those things have made excellent incomes for other people in the past. We don't have anything like a school or training center, you know, beyond our primary and secondary schools. And I was just thinking that we might think about something like that, something that can offer some training, it'll give the students some incentive. Everybody knows the prompts. I used to hire them in my office. The prompts that schools get for being there, and they give props to the students for going there. And I just think that might be something that we could explore.
Thank you. That's something that what you're talking about I brought up several times, but I've also talked to Congressman Kelly about what I wanted to do, what I want to see done out in the south suburbs. It doesn't have to be Sauk Village. I would love for it to be Sauk Village, but it doesn't have to be Sauk Village. But I would like to see I guess you'd call it apprenticeship program for the trades. Everybody may not want to go to school. Everyone may not want to, go to a quote-unquote higher learning. But you can make money in the trades. There's money to be made. I don't know if anyone knows, but I'm an engineer. And I came through the trades. And I know how hard it is to get in the trades, believe me. And I asked our congressman, I've asked our state rep and our state senator to make it available, at least give me two people that we can have a class, we can have a competition or whatever it is, but just give me two people that can go in as apprentices to the trades. We got electrical, plumbing, carpentry, and HVAC. Each one of those trades makes close to $80,000 a year. Where can you come out of school doing that? That's done for a reason. I'm not going to go into it tonight because I've been into the trades for 27 years. I know how to get in. That's why I would have to go to our congressman. I have to go to our state rep to make it available, because then they can talk to the different trade organizations, to the different unions, and make it available for us to at least get a couple in the apprenticeship program each and every year. You know, if you get two from Sauk Village, two from the other communities, fine. But that's something that we do need. You know, higher education is fine, yes you do. But you can walk out of the electrician school, and right away you can make $35, $40 an hour. You can work until you drop. You can always, there's always work for an electrician, always work for a carpenter, if they're willing to work. So, and that's something I have been, I'm not going to stop until that happens. I'm not going to stop until because I've been to her office in Batson and talked to her aides, and asked her, you know, let's get the trades together. If you need, I can talk to a couple of the business managers in the trades, but her weight, her office can make it happen. And that's what I've been trying to do, because you're absolutely right. We need vocational. Back in the day, I don't know if anybody remembers CVS. That's what that was. And then you had, there was another one on the west side. Pardon me? Okay. Yeah, it's over with me. Anyway. But that's what we need. Because a lot of times, a lot of people they don't finish. You don't get certain grades, and you get frustrated, you drop out. But you can always work with these. And this will always outwork any computer, because a computer can't take this up. A computer can't make this, they can't run the wire. So, okay, Pastor, can I let her? She was.
Hi. I've lived in the village for 43 years. My children all grew up here. They went to all the schools here. Back when kindergarten was at Cat's Corner. I find that a lot of the businesses here, some of them people don't want to shop in the village. It's easier to just go over to Dyer especially with Fairway. I mean, I don't go there for anything. It's just like when we're sometimes you go buy the food and the meat is spoiled. So who wants to bother going there? I'd rather go into Indiana, and then you pay less tax too. But for people that are driving on the expressway, even people that want to stop, you know, go get something to eat now it's excellent. Okay. If you look at the buildings that are right along the expressway, I wouldn't want to pull over and go to there. I'd keep going to another town. It looks terrible. If you're coming up Sauk Trail and you get to the plaza, used to be a bowling alley there, kids used to go to bowling, adults used to go to bowling, they had sitters there for the kids, well, you know, little kids while the kids were at school, bowling leagues. That's all gone, and the plaza back there is just, it's empty, it looks terrible. It would be nice to have businesses there. But who wants to come into the village when it looks the way it does? You got gangs, shootings, drugs, you know, drugs just almost on every corner. You know, it's got to be cleaned up. So you got to get the drugs out of here, the gangs out of here, got to build up the plazas, and get rid of some of these, you know, homes that are like, you know, run down and make them, you know, I'm not saying they have to be mansions or neatly trimmed, you know, but at least decent when they're not falling apart. And until they take care of some of that stuff, people aren't going to come into the village anymore. You know, they'll go to the next town over, to Linwood, go the other way to Crete. I know I would, you know, and, you know, it was so much better before. It was, not that we were any of a wealthy area, but it was a lot better shape then. And I think we need to take care of that stuff first. Yeah, cleaner.
Okay, you said it was a lot better then. Like I said, I've been here 32 years. But as I stated before, and I'm sure everybody here would know, this is your village. If you're not willing to do what it takes to make it happen, I said this over and over, when the police come, it's over. The police cannot stop crime. They cannot stop it. If they could, even on a police state, even overseas where you have people that just walk up and down the streets with crime, they do that for a reason. It takes us as residents, as citizens, to stop it before, just like a weed. You can tell a weed when it's getting ready to come up. You pull it out before it gets all the way up. I got a neighbor that does that. You know, he's very meticulous about his yard. I'm not going to even look at him, he's here. But anyway, you have to catch it before it happens. If everybody involved in that area cares about what their home is, get out there. Don't be afraid. That's what criminals want you to be. They want you to be afraid so they can do what they do. But together, it's just like roach spray. You can get out there and you can deter that from your block. Now, if we go down to another block, it's up to them, but you can stop your block. Yes, you can. If you get enough people together to make that happen. But I keep hearing, I don't know, maybe it's just me. That was then, and this is now. We can't go back to then. We have to move forward to right now with what we have. We have to work with what we have. You still have a lot of homeowners out here. The transits are here. People that move in today and gone tomorrow. I wanted to do this at the last meeting and I didn't get a chance to. How many people here own their own home? See? So there's enough. There's enough of you to say we're not going to take this anymore and get together. You know, neighborhood watch is one thing, but you get out there and you talk with your neighbor. Don't look out the window so talk to your neighbor. Find out what they are. So when you talk to them, you find a little bit about their business. So when you know that they don't have children or their kids in school during the day, they're at work, but they got somebody going in and out of the house, they don't just think that that's normal. We have to get involved. And we can't keep making someone else, because guess what? If we keep asking someone else to do our job, take care of us, that's what you're gonna get. Okay, Pastor.
Yes, I want to say I'm Pastor John Pitts, Holy Praise Tabernacle across the street from Rickover. I've only been here 3 years, a little over 3 years. And I've seen and I've witnessed a whole lot. But I was brought over here to help the community with the people, the young people, which we all say is our problem, going around shooting everybody up, right? The worst travesty of the world is parenting. And somebody gonna get that and take it wrong and take it somewhere, and then I'm gonna have a bad name on me. But that's all right. That's the worst problem we have everywhere. It's parenting. I have a lot of parents, single parents in my church. I have 5. I have a parent that have 9 kids. I have another that have 10 kids. Another that have 5 kids. I'm doing my job to help them spiritually. We are talking about politics. So if everyone would do their job, what they're supposed to be doing, their mission on this earth, what they should be doing. And one thing is, we all complain about the kids, but nobody's doing anything. Since I've been here, I came here with 30 people. I have over 200 now. And guess what? 60% of them are 18 and under. And I'm doing all I can to help these kids. I drive a truck for UPS full-time. I pastor, and I have a family. My worst thing about the village is not enough information. I'm right next to everything, and I don't know a thing that's happening. I wouldn't have knew about this. I was getting ready for my Bible class. I was able to have my brother teach it. If Larry Stewart hadn't told me this was going on, I wouldn't have been here. And I know how we all go around. It's a small village, everybody know about, everybody talk. I stay out of all of that, because I have to listen to God. Until we understand that everybody talking about politics and religion don't mix. When I read my Bible, the Pharisees and the Sadducees were always around Jesus. And those were the high politic authority people. Did you ever wonder why Jesus, why a Pharisee or a Sadducee, all of a sudden turned around and asked Jesus something? Those were the politicians of the day. They was around Jesus. Understand that. So we don't want to mix that. It's going to have to be mixed. Because until you get some kind of spiritual religion in politics, it ain't going to never be right. Never going to be right. We all have to do the best job we can. If everybody is doing that, that'll make the whole place better. But until we do that, stop bickering what we heard, what we read, and stuff ain't right. We need to forget all that kind of stuff that you heard and read, and it ain't right, and this and that, and being misinformed. Talk to somebody that know. If it's the mayor, go to him. If you're the board president, go to her and ask her. Don't talk about it. Find out your officials and go directly to them and ask them. I believe that's why Virgin is having, so we can ask the right people the right questions. We won't be misinformed. So I think that's the big thing here, is information. I'm sorry, y'all, I'm not a Facebook person. And I probably miss a lot because I'm not on Facebook. And that's probably my fault. But I need a phone call or something in my mailbox or somebody to talk to me. I'm sorry, I'm not a Facebook person. To know everybody, it's on Facebook, didn't you see it? Well, no, I did. And I'm a concerned person too. I live in the village, I've been here over 3 years. You know, I moved from South Holland because a parish came with the church. I just wanted to buy a church, I didn't want to move, but I had to move because a parish came with the church, and I did. And I'm doing everything I can for these kids here, y'all. Oh, y'all can keep this and that, quickly talking against each other. I'm trying to help these kids get them off the street. Yes, I had that funeral where the boy that got shot, his uncle went to my church. I had his funeral at my church. I talked to the police and the chief, and all of them came out there just to watch, to be on the safe side. I didn't want nobody to be scared, because he might have been affiliated with a gang. So what I had, over 500 young people all over the place. at that funeral. I was able to get the 2 of them to come back to church. All the ones I talked to, sometimes you just get 1 or 2 and turn them around. Because that could have been the next person who would have want to shoot somebody. So that's what I'm here for, okay? And that's what I'm going to be doing too. Because I believe in God and I obey God. I know there's no fear of God anymore. People don't feel like we felt him back in the day. You know what I'm saying? But until everybody always want to keep religion out of everything and keep God and everything out of that, y'all will be like this for another 10 years, another 20 years. Ain't nothing will never change. And it's sad that there's no other pastor here. I don't understand that. I don't know why they don't come. I know a few. I don't know why they don't come. I could just imagine and think why they don't. But why not when they got the village people coming to their church? They should be here. The times I came, I hardly ever seen any pastors here. I hear like 20-something churches in Sauk Village. And I've probably been in 3 years and been to more meetings than all of them. I don't know why that is. Maybe y'all can help me, explain that. When I get a chance, I would talk to them and ask them why when I get the opportunity. Y'all want to make things better, we just can't stay in our little area and forget everything else around us. We're just going to stay here, preach God's word. I don't think nobody knew what church Jesus went to. I don't know if he had a church home. I don't even think he had an address. Okay? He just walked the streets. And that block is so bad over there. I can't think of that block where it's all the priests are always going over there. I walk with my people over there. We didn't knock on doors. We just stood in the streets because that's where they were always at. And those guys listened to us and respected us. They stayed there and listened. We held hands and prayed with them, did everything we asked. I don't know what they did after that, but they did everything we asked. So like I said, it's really about parenting, y'all. We get the parents, we don't get the children. And that's the really main issue. Now, I'm sorry, I'm going to leave. I want to go finish my Bible class and see what's happening. But God bless everybody. I'm glad to be here. I'm glad for you.
I just want to say I have had the privilege to be at Pastor Pitt's church. He's right. When he first came in, because he took the place of another church that's on Burnham Avenue now. And he does have a great youth program. A great youth program. Great. So it is. And he deserves that. I mean, you reach out, you ask him to do things. He's one of the ones that will do it in the community. Who has any other questions? I don't know. Did you have a question? Who's next? Who's next? Megan.
I wanted to agree with you to a degree that you can't live in the past. But in May of 2015, I will be spending my 50th year in Sauk Village. I am in the same house we purchased. I had 3 sons that went to the schools here. They are scattered all over now. My husband was a police sergeant on Sauk Village Police Department and loved it. He was a part-time fireman. I ran a free clinic in this town for 20 years with the trustee Ray Gavin on health and sanitation. We had a free clinic that provided all inoculations for all kids from infants to high school, past high school. We were the only school district in the state of Illinois at one time. The school nurse worked with us. We had inoculations once a month. And one time, we were the only school district in the state of Illinois that had 100% inoculations of all the kids in kindergarten, grammar school, and high school. All this was volunteer. in the 20 years that I was on that, I missed 3 meetings, or 3 inoculation clinic dates. This town is divided on and off. Over the 50 years, I've seen it numerous times, but I will tell you the part I disagree with you, Mr. Burgess, and the past has a way of creeping back. When this town was down and out, I saw people that would never talk to each other, wouldn't lift a hand to help somebody else. But when we were down and out and the snow was really high and not one vehicle moved in this town, no fire truck, no police cars, no nothing, people got together. I pulled a sled to go to the, take food to the fire station. People stopped me. They came out their doors to give me stuff out of their fridge or whatever. Blankets, anything I could fit on that sled. The people in this town, it doesn't matter what church you go to. It doesn't matter what color you are. It doesn't matter who's sitting up there as mayor or trustee. All that was forgotten. They band together, and I feel they can do it again. I feel if we had anything bad go on, it would happen again. There's enough of us that would make it happen again.
I did make a promise to Dr. Lee that I would be out here at 8:30 because it's overtime, and I see the school president is talking to the custodian now, so I don't want to I don't want to go over because I promised that I wouldn't do that. However, the mayor wanted to say something, and I'm going to give him a chance, but Mayor, please just keep it kind of short. If they have some questions or whatever, we know we got board meeting we can take care of at that time.
No, I appreciate it. I thank everyone for coming out. I think this is great show people, and there's a lot of information coming out, and it doesn't want that fair. You got the trustee here, you got myself here, school board, you got school board president here, so we're taking the information, we're writing it down. I just want to clear just a couple things up real quick. You know, the trustee said earlier, you're not going to, you're not going to please everybody all the time. And it's a difficult position that we all sit in, especially as elected officials. One of the first things that was brought up was advance auto. Advance auto, when that came before myself, there were some things we got out of that. Where that mall is, that was underneath one pen. What we were able to do was get that separated. So where advance auto is located, that's a separate pen. The owner of that property every year challenges taxes to get it the lowest amount he could. We've got it where advance auto is going, he's not going to challenge that. To get that advance auto, now everyone wants to talk about the Class 8. That is a program through Cook County. And what the village board passed was Resolution 14-06, which said that the village board or the village is in favor of them getting that Class 8. Now, if you look at the Class 8, the requirements for it, I just want to just real quick here, and I'm not going to spend too much longer. The Class 8, should I get this here? Advance auto is located in Sauk Village because of the Class 8 property tax incentive, a program which promotes industrial and commercial development in areas of Cook County that is experiencing severe economic stagnation. Nobody can deny that that mall over there was stagnant. You had vacant buildings in there for years. I remember looking at these buildings, they took 5 strip malls that had been vacant, and they made it into one advance auto. We got all those 5 storefronts underneath one pen now, instead of the whole entire strip mall underneath one pen. Think about this here, there's other things it talks about, but there was also an amendment to the classification of that ordinance that was done at the county level, which allows property located in any of the 5 townships. We're in one of those 5 townships. It's Bloom, Graham, Calumet, Rich, and Thornton, or which are included in the South Suburban Tax Reactivation Pilot Program, or in an enterprise zone. They're already eligible for the Class 8. So by getting that Class 8, it brought a business to Sauk Village. That business is employing approximately 13 employees. Plus it was not bringing any tax revenue to this community at all. Now we've got tax revenue coming in. So there was some things that the village did get out of it. then it goes to the property owner. You know, and maybe I misspoke at the board meeting when I said that. Because here's what happened is, that Class 8 goes to the property when it gets the Advance Auto is benefiting from that. That was one of the things that Advance Auto said they had to have to locate the Sauk Village. So there's things that was happening there that, you know, again, you can't please everyone. Some people are going to say, should just let the buildings vacant. We don't need them. We shouldn't be paying our taxes now. There's other people that are gladly brought in Advance Auto. So you have to outweigh what does it do. It brings jobs, it brings business, it brings something that was stagnant, and now it brings life to an area that needed it. So I just want to clear that up real quick. You know, the other thing is, you talk about the grants and stuff that we've got. What has happened is the governor has signed the bills that says Sauk Village is getting this money. We've completed the paperwork. You've got the $25,000 for fire hydrants. We've completed the paperwork and submitted it. We've got the $50,000 for infrastructure for replacing deep boxes and things like that. The governor has already signed. We've completed the paperwork. It's already been submitted. We're just waiting for the funds to get there. So the money has not been spent. We haven't seen the money, but the governor signed the bills. $135,000 for Arrow Park. The governor signed the bill. We submitted the paperwork. So you've got that. The money that was paid for the grass cutting, that money's already been reimbursed. We did borrow funds from the water fund to pay people who did work for the village. Currently, right now, for the next committee meeting, we're going to look at it. We still want another $20-some thousand. These people are out there mowing these vacant lots. I'm bringing it to the board to say, what do you want to do? Do you want to borrow more funds, or do we let these people continue working, wait until we get the grant money? So that's going before the village board for a decision. Again, transparent, and we're bringing it out in the open. We're not paying. Okay, as of right now. And then lastly, information. Information is always difficult, and something that we constantly fight. We think about, you know, with all the things that we have, people still say they want the information. We've got Sauk Talk, all the Facebook pages out there, the websites, you've got the newspapers, you've got the marquee, but residents still say they have a hard time getting the information. So, you know, as your mayor, I look to you for input on what else can we do to get this information out. So, thank you very much, Trustee.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Quickly, last question. I ask this at every meeting. Was this meeting worthwhile? Yes. Would you like to see another one? Yes. Okay. I asked before Wednesday or Thursday. Wednesday is the 15th of October, or do you want Thursday the 16th? Which way would be better? Wednesday is better? Oh. Okay. Show of hands. Wednesday? Thursday. Wait a minute. I'll try it again. Wednesday? Okay, Thursday. Then it's Wednesday. Thank you very much. I'll get everything out. And again, thank you guys. I appreciate your time that you came out for this. Next time, Miss Ashley, bring refreshments. I'll get more people.